down, yo, I hit you off lacy. With my nigga Lord
Quas in the place, master race MCs. Coming through like the loneliest monk. Bad lib, drop harmonious spunk. I'll leave you sunken like a crackhead's ass. Drop the math on that ass fast. Cause if we battle, your whole crew will be coming up in last place. I'll hit you with a slower, fast pace. On conceptual mode, new redirect the whole space. We'll take you out, lacerate cause you was blind.
Hey Lord Quas, did you hear the voices that you left behind?
Hey yo, are you the one?
Are you the one?
That took that nigga's life without using a gun.
Happy New Year's, everybody. Welcome back to episode 2 to Between Us Friends. I'm Harvin.
I'm Dono.
And
we got a nice little lineup for you guys, a treat.
We're going to start with our top 5 movies
of 2018. And then we're going to do our top songs, top 20 songs of 2018. Both are, we have like our own list. We're going to do it like each our own songs, like top, it's going to be pretty fun.
And then we have our top 10 albums of the year, each of our top 10 albums. So we're just going to go ahead and kick it off with our top 5 movies. I'm going to start with my top 5, with my first movie, with my first favorite movie of the year. It was Hotel Artemis. I really enjoyed this movie because I'm really excited to see what Brian Tyree Henry has to offer in the future. I mean, he did a lot of stuff this year. So, I think Widows and it wasn't Black Panther because every black person was in Black Panther.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's my first movie of the year. Well, my fifth, but...
You decide we're going with fifth?
Yeah.
All right. For my fifth, it's actually a superhero film. I think everybody loved quite a bit. I think they did a great job, Marvel. Infinity War.
Yeah.
They really came all out with how the CGI was immaculate. The acting was actually top tier compared to like most superhero films. You know, they try to stay just to the comic book, but they actually put like, a good deal of emotion in. It was just fun to watch. It was enjoyable as hell to watch. I don't think I met a person that just flat out.
A lot of people say that there's been like better Marvel villains, but this was literally the best overall Marvel villain that we're ever gonna get, as far as we're concerned. But
no, I think we'll go with yours. Yep.
Yeah. So my fourth favorite movie of the year was Annihilation. Annihilation. First off, the soundtrack was just eerie as hell. Like Donovan didn't get a chance to see it, but I'm almost certain he would have been in love with it. It was a female-led cast, but it wasn't PC-led. Like, they all had their own troubles, which they were trying to overcome. So that made it very, like, cool. It's based on a book, if you guys want to go check it out. But it was really good. The message was nice. The action was really dope. It keeps you, like, on your seat. Super suspenseful, so you guys should definitely check it out if you're into sci-fi, thrillers, and somewhat of a mystery.
For my fourth, this is a really new film, but I'm going to go with Aquaman. And to be real with Aquaman, there's so many great things I love about it. Number one, I think my favorite is the costume design. I don't know why. It's just so grand. Like how everything, like from Ocean Master to Black Manta to Aquaman himself. Beautiful. It was just so. It's just so dope.
You don't get better than that. Honestly.
Like, and a lot of it was like non-CGI too with the costume. So I was like, that just makes it even better.
Yeah.
And and what I liked so much about it, the fans really got behind it, so that was good. The dialogue in it was really quirky and corny, but I think that's what made it fun to watch. Yeah. It was a great film. There's a few things that I have with it that like a nitpick. It's not necessarily the film; it's how people are going to address, how people are going to start doing comic book films. Like we talked about. Like they're going to have to make stuff funny, lighthearted, just for people to see it. But overall, James Wan his first action film away from horror. Pretty good job. I'm ready to see what he's gonna do like in the future with it. So yeah.
I hope he gets to direct the next Aquaman. I don't know if they even have that.
I mean, I hope they do. I mean, this one's doing so well.
Yeah, I agree.
That'd be weird if they didn't. They're gonna get like fucking revitalized fucking Zack Snyder.
Oh God, keep him in the grave.
Jesus Christ.
Right. My third favorite movie of the year was Red Sparrow. I actually really don't enjoy Jennifer Lawrence films, but this one really got to me. First, it's been a while since I've seen it, but first she really kicked off how well she can change what kind, like, the character that she's embracing. She really embraced this character. I forget her name. But it started off with her as a ballerina. She fucks herself up, and then her transition into becoming a spy. And I don't want to get into like all the details because it'll give some stuff away. But it's just one of those movies where you have to kind of go check out. You should really go see it.
My third disclaimer: as a movie, it is not bad. It's actually good. As just a film. The inconsistencies historically make it a bad movie in that sense, but if you take that away, I think it's a good film. Black Klansman, Spike. It's a Spike Lee movie, so I mean it's a Spike Lee joint, so you know what to expect.
Right.
But as an overall film, it's fun to watch. Now, learning about how the inconsistencies with the historical relevance with it is a little like.
Did you have pacing issues as well?
Yeah, I did. I think it's a Jordan Peele produced film, which is also odd, which is really weird. I'd rather if Jordan Peele directed it, but I think it's a good movie. I liked did it watch his son's? It's his son's. I don't know his name.
I don't know.
Donald Driver did a great job. The dialogue is funny when you think about who's acting. Like how many times they say the N-word in it is insane. But overall, it's a good movie. Now. Aside from the lies that are in it, like what's one of the biggest lies? Oh, that like the bomb that goes off.
Oh yeah,
that never actually happened, or the fact that he tells David Duke that he's black. He actually never said that.
Really?
And they were like, no.
Oh,
He did talk to him over the phone. He did once his bodyguard did take that picture, but like he never admitted that it was him. But overall, I think it's a good Spike Lee movie. Because out of Spike Lee movies, you either get it's either really bad or like it's pretty good. But usually on the last few years, they've been kind of on the down low.
I'm excited to see where Spike Lee is going because I mean he's kind of embracing this new generation. Yeah. I feel like so it'll be exciting to see what he does with us.
Fucking Hollywood outsider.
Exactly.
Forever a Hollywood outsider. All right.
The last two, me and Donovan actually just had an agreement on, and we actually saw them together, and it'll probably end up being classic films in the long run. Our second favorite film was Hereditary. If you didn't see Hereditary, you really missed out on a treat this year. You should really go pick it up. It is not your usual, like, you turn the corner and there's a ghost or a monster type film, and I'm pretty sure you've heard that a lot if you've heard anything about Hereditary. It is truly a slow-burning, nail-biting, like, it'll have you on your seat wondering what the hell the whole purpose of this film is even about.
Yeah.
Like,
because I didn't even know what the hell it was about.
What to look forward to,
until the end of the movie. And
exactly.
Then,
still confused, kind of.
Gosh, the gore. The zero jump scares. That's the scariest part of the movie. There's no jump scares. Literally, like there's one scene, I'm not gonna give it away, where where his mom's on the ceiling for the first time. You think it's gonna happen. It doesn't jump scare. There's no like the scariest part is that guy in the corridor and he's just like looking. Because we were all in the movie, I was like, "What the fuck is that?"
Oh yeah.
And you was like, "Just watch it." And I was like, "I don't know who that is, man."
If you easily have bad nightmares, or like your nightmares can last for days, then you really may want to like reconsider seeing this movie. But the acting was phenomenal. Fucking the dude from Naked Brothers Band, Finn Wolf, was in it.
That is weird.
He did his shit. He actually bashed his head on that table as well.
Jesus
the mother, if she doesn't, when are the Oscars? Beginning of this?
They come in February.
February?
Yeah.
If she does not win an Oscar for her performance in...
Before we even... So what's her name? The actress, her name is Toni Collette.
If Toni Collette does not win an Oscar for Best Actress, and I don't know if there's a... Is there a horror film category? Anyway, she doesn't win something for this. If she doesn't win... She deserves it.
And whoever did the sound design, if you can hear this, or if you can, whoever did that deserves all of the special effects award in the world. Whoever, if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, good job for you, because that really ruined my life for a good few weeks after I seen it. And then for our number one, this movie I wish it got a lot more distribution than it did. There was some bad. I don't know exactly what Boots Riley said, like why it didn't get international distribution until like now. But it doesn't take away from the film. Sorry to bother you.
My favorite film of all time.
Yeah, that it might have to be mine too.
Yeah.
If it's not mine, it's tied with number one. Then
the themes that they talk about tackling capitalism, fucking Lakeith Stanfield's acting, and him emerging from his great performances from Atlanta the past couple of years. It's just we'll revisit. Sorry about it. Yeah.
It's the quirkiest, weirdest film.
Yeah.
With probably the greatest movie twist of all time.
Oh my gosh. Easily.
I don't even want to say. You just got to, for one, rent it, buy it, whatever you got to do to see it. That is the greatest.
It's on Hulu.
It's on Hulu now?
Right now, if you need to go see it.
The greatest, the Jade Door. Go to the Jade Door. That is the greatest movie twist I don't think I've ever seen. It freaked me out, but everything from like the conceptual design of like all the clothing, the soundtrack, Boots Riley, composed by Boots Riley, who did a great job. I like how they lose everything in like a non-cringy cliche way, like how Tessa Thompson would wear different clothes and different things, and then the whole concept of like the white voice and code switching is just so fun. Patton Oswalt, I can't remember the other guy's name. The guy that's in he's in Big Fat Liar. Liar. I can't remember his name. He's in a lot of stuff.
If you're a black person trying to survive in America, then you need to go see Sorry to Bother You. If you're a black person like in the workforce, Sorry to Bother You is easily for you.
Yeah.
So.
What was his name? Because I want to just know his.
Which dude?
The guy that did the Lakeith's white voice, because David Cross.
Oh really?
David Cross, yeah. David Cross did a good job. It's a star-studded cast too, so like it's not like one of those films that you haven't heard. Like, oh, I bet nobody's in it. It was Lakeith Stanfield, Tessa Thompson, Lily James, Armie Hammer, Stephen Yeun, Omari.
There are some people that like if you haven't heard of, you're definitely gonna hear about in the next couple of years anyway. So.
Danny Glover. Did not know Forrest Whitaker was in there at some
point.
point.
Was he? Yeah.
He's the first to question.
Exactly.
Voice. Yeah. That's funny. David Cross. So like, it's like and Patton Oswalt and Terry Crews. Of course, it's a big cast. The budget wasn't super high, but you really couldn't tell if you've seen it.
And his lucky ass got to meet him.
Boots Riley. Yeah, it was kind of cool meeting him and picking some parts from the film that I didn't catch, but that was pretty cool. But yeah, so that kind of wraps it up for our top 5 films of the year. And now we're going to kick it off and to our top 20 songs, which is going to be even more of a treat. We're getting into the movie section. So, yeah, let's dive right into it. All right, in this segment, guys, we are going to do our top 20 songs of 2018. Now, they don't have to be singles. They're just our top songs. We
enjoyed.
Yeah, we listen to a bunch of music. So, in this segment, we're going to talk about the bottom 10 first, so 20 to 11, and then in another segment. Then another segment we'll do our top 10. So how we're going to do it is, I'm going to say Aid's going to say his top 20 first, his top 20 song, and then I'll do my 20, and then he'll do his 19th, and I'll do my 19th, and so on and so forth.
Knock it all out.
So go ahead.
Alright, my first song, which is kind of a surprise, because I'm not really like the hugest J. Cole fan. Honestly, when he drops a project, I haven't really liked anything since fucking Forest Hills Drive. So, Brackets was one of my favorites because, for one, honestly, he picked out a really good Richard Pryor expert to put into the beginning, which I really think pieced the whole song together. The beat was really nice, the whole whatever, I don't really know how to call it, the drums or the bass line, but pretty much it was just a really solid song. I liked the message. I liked him talking about why he doesn't like to vote, because that's one of the reasons why he doesn't really care to vote. I don't know, I just like the topic of the matter of the song, and I usually don't like J. Cole's songs, so it surprised me, and I played it a lot more than I actually thought I would, so, yeah.
My number 20th pick is from Sophie. The song is Face Shopping. It was the lead single from the album, which I think is it's such an odd title, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Face Shopping?
The song's called Face Shop. I can't remember the name of the album it's off of. Something with the oil, something. But it's a experimental pop track, and one thing you get to learn about me and AJ, we like a lot of pop music too. So it's an experimental pop track where like she has a lot of the textures fade in and out of the song at like random times, and it sounds like the equivalent of somebody like scratching nails like on like drywall with like texture on it, and like you kind of like want to bend your neck to it, like dance really weird too. I like it a lot, and she's coming at it so weird. She's like, the beginning, she's like, My face is the front of shop. I love when I shop my face. It's like she's bending words. It's really dope. But yeah, it's a good track. I think everybody should check it out.
My 19th favorite song of 2018 was Big Glock by Key Glock. I really don't listen to a lot of Key Glock. One of my friends was actually just playing the song around me, and I asked him what it was, and it turns out that I really enjoyed it. But I really like the interchanging beats. I like just the trapped out lyricism of it. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, Donovan was listening to it the other day, and he was like, "Oh, I actually kind of like this song." So that's my 19th favorite song.
For my 19th, it's off of Anderson .Paak's new album Oxnard. It's called Anywhere. It features Snoop Dogg. I can't remember the other artist that's on there. I think it's I'll have to look at it again. But the song is kind of like an ode to 90s East Coast, West Coast type R&B rap fusion. And of course you have to have Snoop Dogg on it from the West Coast. And it sounds like something you would see in like an Ice Cube film.
Oh yeah.
So it's the melody with it is really smooth. It has really dark tone. It's not dark tone like it's grimy, but like it sounds like it's dark outside when you listen to it. And it's pretty fun to listen
to. My 18th favorite song of the year was by YWN Melly, Melly the Menace. I heard about this song in the beginning of the year, not the beginning of the year, or around like the summer or something, but anyway, I hadn't really heard much about him, but I wanted to really like get into him, so I was going through some of his songs, and I found out he did this other song where he took this Chris Brown song and turned it into like a trap anthem or whatever. But pretty much, I don't know why I really like this song. Maybe it's because I feel like he's like the next Young Thug or Future type of feel, but he has like this R&B vibe to him as well, and his flow and his like. He uses a lot of words that I wouldn't expect to hear to him. So I don't know if that says what that says about him. But
my 18th song, I put Speak on it, but that's not what I think. It's because we were talking about that. It's not it's not that song. Series of Exits. That's what I meant to put. I think we were talking about Series of Exits by Cities of Eve. It's off his record, his triumphant record called Race for a Better View, which you should check that out too. But it's the ending track of the record, and it's not necessarily a song where he's rapping his best bars or anything. It's more like he's confronting a lot of things on. He has his mom on the voicemail, and he's just saying, "Race for a Better View, thanks for coming here." He's in a low point, but it sounds like he's coming within peace. I don't know. It's a triumph.
Perfect way to wrap up that.
It is a perfect way to wrap up a record. I still think it's one of the strongest endings to an album this year or of 2018.
My 17th favorite song was "Basic Need" by Tiraza.
Tearsay. I found out it's Tearsay.
Tearsay. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
Tearsay.
You'll hear Donovan correcting me once we say her name a couple more times. But yeah, Basic Need, I don't know. I love the chops. I love her voice. She just really knows how to construct a song. Her and what's her face? Mikachu. Yeah. It was a 17th favorite song of the year.
Yeah. For mine, 17th, it's The Internet's La Di Da. There's a lot of great tracks on the record, but if this one's like the most like pungent dance song they've ever made, this is probably like their most fun song to me. I think what The Internet has guided themselves up to be over the years, and starting off as a duo, now I think it's like a quintet. Steve Lacy's bass line on that song is the funkiest bass line I think he's ever put on a song. Sid on there is sounding...
He's only getting better.
He's only getting better. And it's crazy he does all that stuff on his iPhone usually, but it's a really fun track.
My 16th favorite song of the year was Dilemma by Death Grips. If you listen to Death Grips, this is just classic Grips. You can't get any better than this. When it starts off with the whole whispering welcome to the...
It sounds like you're in a circus.
Yeah, it's like this eerie-ass circus. The video is really creepy as well. But just classic Death Grips. Either you like them or you love them. I mean, either you hate them or you love them. So.
Yeah. For my 15th, this song was originally released in 2017, but when he put it on the album, he redid it for a 2018 release. It was on his Happy Side Records, Kiefer's Quad A, and it's an instrumental song, but It's another great way that he ended the record. Like he's an instrumentalist, but it was the most blissful song, and it felt kind of like it felt like you were like in New York or something. You're like in the city here, like all the bustling sounds. It's a really good song.
My 15th favorite song of the year was Honeybee by Unknown Mortal Orchestra. This is a lot more poppy than what they usually do. It's very upbeat. I think he wrote it about his daughter, so I think he was in like high spirits from some of his other stuff, because a lot of the other stuff has been about open relationships or his drug habits and other things. But he made a family song, and it really worked out well, and I liked it, and it just pieces the whole record together.
So, we're on 15, right?
Yeah, I'm
on 15th. Mine is it's a double song. It's not a double. It's one track, but it's broken into two parts. By Parquet Courts is I almost had to start a fight, and then In and Out of Patience. I think what I like about it so much, which if you listen to the record, it's very socially conscious, but with that song specifically, it is completely rowdy. It's almost like post-punkish. And I don't know the lead singer name, but he's like, I don't start a fight. Like it sounded like he's fighting people with words. Like if you could literally imagine him beating people up, how hard he's yelling on the song. And then In Out of Patience is pretty funny. He goes more upbeat, but he's not the lead singer's not as he's not as hype. And then it sounds live. I don't know if they recorded it live, but they have like a live audience in there with them. It's really fun.
My 14th favorite song of the year was Spending Addiction by Gunna. Gunna, I don't really have much to say about him, because, I mean, like, he's like your usual trap artist, I guess. I mean, he has, like, some nice croons, whatever.
Yeah.
He could sing a little bit, and I guess he uses autotune well. But Spending Addiction is just a cool song about shopping. I mean, I'm not the biggest shopper, but I like the flow, I like the beat. It's just one of the ones that got to me this year.
Yeah. For 14th on mine is Free by Kid See Ghost. I mean, I don't know that. It's what is it, Ghost Town Part 2, I think?
Yeah,
right?
pretty much, yeah.
I don't know, it is, I feel free listening to it. I mean,
it is definitely a part 2 to Ghost Town.
Yeah,
like,
it really is part
like
2. Kanye production on that song is it's just fun. The guitars he sampled in there, I don't know if they're sampled either. He could have got somebody to play guitars on
I
there.
think it was a sample, because I was watching The Sopranos, and I think they ended the song. Well, they ended the episode with one of the songs sampled. I have to show you later. But
Kid Cudi on there is to me the most exciting, because if knowing the background of what Kid Cudi's been through the last few years, him just saying how free he is like the most satisfying and like happy.
Very great to hear.
Very great to hear him say that. And then of course Ty Dolla $ign, put him on any song, and it's like it goes to a whole 11.
Free him.
Free him too, yeah. Free Ty Dolla $ign for whatever he's in prison for something that shouldn't have, it wasn't his fault.
And my 13th song of the year, my favorite song of 2018, well, my 13th favorite song of 2018, was Kid See Ghost by Kid See Ghost. My favorite thing about this song is just, I love that Kanye spoke his truths. Like, if you know what Kanye had been going through over the past year, like, this song kind of sums up a lot of the shit that he had been talking about. Also, I love that, like, jungle, eerie feel that it has. It has, like, this little, like, October-ish type of feel.
Like
he's
trying in there, too. That
yeah.
At the end of
and then that eerie-ass laugh gets me and Donovan, so. Yeah.
And then for my 13th, as Harvin has said before, not on video, but just like in personal conversation, everybody should have a favorite Playboi Carti song. I think I now hold to be true. His song Cancun is not available for sharing. It's like on YouTube and stuff like that, but it's kind of a meme as well. With that song, it is literally one of the most mindless songs. It is so fun, like, fuck round them Beals. Like, it's just like, literally, like, even the video that goes with it is just so mindless, but I think that's what makes it so fun, is like...
You get exactly what you expect.
You get exactly what you expect. And it's Playboi Carti just, like, in his element. It's playish. It is literally a childish song.
It's fun.
It is very fun.
My 12th song of the year was Eclipse by Earl. I don't know, in the beginning, you can tell that, like, if you're gonna like this song or not, like, say goodbye to my openness, totally. Yeah. Like, you can just... And if you've been an Earl fan since middle school or whenever he dropped or whenever he came out for you guys, this song is just gonna hold a special place in your heart. It's just it's one of the
For my number 12 spot, the song "Scum" by Idols. It's one of their lead singles off the record. I believe it was a single. Idols is a very good new age post punk band, and this song is literally like the full embodiment of like what they wanted with the record. And it also sounds like it's like radio rock in a sense too. Like it sounds like if I turn on the radio, this would be something on like 100.9 or something. So yeah, it's really fun.
And my 11th song of the year is "Live from the Moon" by Action Bronson. It's a jazzy feel. Bronson sometimes like does like that jazzy or like I'm not sure exactly.
I know exactly what you mean.
But yeah, he has this guy named Young Mexico on it who I think is playing the saxophone. But yeah, just the usual Action Bronson bars.
Yeah, very lavish, involve a lot of expensive food and clothes.
Right.
Wish I could say the same. And then for my 11th song of the year, "You Let My Tires Down" by Tropical Fuckstorm, another post-punk psychedelic band. But so "You Let My Tires Down" is the beginning of the album, and it sets the tone for the record. And I think this album needed a tone setter because if you look at the cover of the album, it will turn you off.
Yeah.
Because you would think it's probably like a hardcore death metal album or probably like grunge rock or something. But when you listen to the album, I think it was very important for him to make that song the very first song. You're like, oh, okay, I'm in like I'm in safe waters now.
Yeah.
But it's really, really pungent. You Let My Tires Down. I don't know, I like it a lot. And that concludes our first 10 songs of the top 20. So in the next segment, we're gonna talk about our top 10 from 10 to 1, and then after that we'll kick it off with our top 10 albums of the year. Alright?
To start our final 10 songs of 2018, mine was "Me and Gravity" by White Moms. I just really love the drum line, the vocals. It's just a very classic Indiana song, and I'll get into more about the group later. So yeah.
For my number 10, the song is called "The Forge Expecting You" by Blood, Wine, or Honey. And that song is like a grand opus of the record. If you hear the record, so they're a Beijing band. They're alternative electronic. And with that song, they blend a lot of electronic instruments with a lot of natural, real instruments. And you sometimes can't differentiate which ones are real, which ones are fake. And then how the performance on the track, I don't know who the singer is, but like it's just very low and it's very eerie. And it sounds like if you're in a jungle and animals are actually coming for you, and it's like really dope. But you are the animal, and that's like the fun part of it.
My 9th favorite song of the year was "Golden Niggas" by Aid Hakim. This song just makes me happy. And this is a song that when you craft the production around your rapping technique, it just plays out well. So yeah.
For my number 9, it's the beginning track off of the Now Now by Gorillaz. It is "Humility" by Gorillaz. Over the last few years, Damon Albarn has became more of a figure than the actual animation of the band. So that's kind of disappointing. But with that song, it gave me a glimpse of hope that it's not totally gone.
Yeah.
Because that song is very fun. It sounds like something that he would have made back in the day.
He said he's working on something this year, isn't he?
Yeah, because from Humans to the Now, it did get better. I wonder to see where this goes, but
less features.
Less features. And actually, it felt like 2D. That was one of the first time I was like, okay, 2D is singing this. But yeah, I
or more precise features.
More precise features, yeah, not the random people.
My 8th favorite song of the year was "Static" by Dial Up. There was this group, an opener, the second opener actually, for when we went to go see JPEG in Ohio. And they performed this song there, and it was just like, it was kind of annoying, the mosh, but it actually caught my attention, and when I went to go revisit it, it became one of my favorite songs of the year, so, yeah.
Yeah, they really, I wonder how it would have felt without the mosh.
Oh, yeah. It would have been, I don't think they were even ready for that atmosphere.
Yeah, that no stage was very unsettling.
Yeah.
So for my my number 8, from probably one of my favorite pop bands, probably ever, it's a trio. Caro Bonito's "Fly Away." It's off the new album. It's KKB. Yeah, it's their one of their singles off of their new album "Time and Place." "Fly Away" comes right after "Only Acting," which they're both like hard rock songs, and it's like hard rock pop fusion in a sense. And with that song "Fly Away," even though Sarah Bonito is Japanese, she's very English, but she's from England as well. That song to me sounds like if I'm in a Fooly Cooley episode.
Oh yeah.
And it's just very fun. It's very anime inspired. I think she even speaks Japanese on that track, but the guitars, I think Jamie's playing the guitars on that one. It's just a really good jam, and it's very fun, and I think everybody can enjoy it, even if you're not like a pop person. I even think like a rap guy. They make music videos of that stuff today.
Yeah, the production is very like lively, so it's gonna be kind of hard not to like it.
Yeah, even if I don't like this, it's not hip hop. Yeah, whatever.
My number 7 favorite song of the year was "Rules" by Karagman. I need to learn these names.
I literally think that's how it's said.
Karagman?
I think it's just Karagman.
Okay, well, my favorite song, my 7th favorite song of the year was "Rules" by Karagman. It's subtle, but it's strong. Like I'm very weird with describing jazz music because I don't really know how to like pinpoint some of the things or what to say. But you just have to go and listen to it. You'll understand definitely what I'm saying. But listen to the whole thing. But yeah.
So for my number 7 is "Not for Sale," which I think is spelled weird. It's like NONT, "Not for Sale," by Sudan Archives. She's a violinist, an experimental violinist, which I've never heard of that before. But when you hear her music, this song is very Afrobeat inspired, even though Afrobeat is more like Nigerian roots on it. But the song deals with like a bunch of like people coming in, like taking the culture and taking like that, physically taking land. So like "Not for Sale." She comes through on it. I mean, she's still got time to grow, but I can understand she's putting her struggle through it because she's like 23. She's not much older than us, so she can understand. But her violin playing on that song is very top tier, and it's very odd because like she plays in like odd time signatures, but she's experimental. So
I think she'll really find herself, hone it in, and then she'll find her magnum open.
I can't wait, especially since she's with Stone Throw Records.
Oh yeah, they give her the freedom.
Yeah.
My 6th favorite song was "Dead It All." I don't know how to say this song. "Dead It All" by Arm & Hammer. Billy Woods pretty much spoke the gospel on this truth. I'm pretty sure if you follow me on Twitter, you see me probably tweet some of the lyrics from the song. But this beat that just like slowly builds up, and then Elucid comes on and he does his, and then Billy Woods just like finishes it super strong. So
Arm & Hammer is really one of the best like projects in
underground groups, yeah.
Especially if you're not familiar with like Billy Woods for real.
Yeah, oh my
please
God. Go check him out. Yeah.
Who's the other guy? You said Lucid.
Lucid, yeah.
Lucid. Oh, check him out as well, because they're both very powerful voices within hip hop that don't get much attention at all.
They just speak wisdom, and that's what Billy Woods did on this song. Like they give you the recipe.
Yeah. For my number 6 song, very bittersweet song, not for what the song's about, but for what it could have been. 1998 Truman by Brockhampton. What's bittersweet about it is that it didn't land on Iridescence, and I think it was better than a couple of the songs on there. But what I think was
does that come with the music video?
It does. It comes with the beginning.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
The beginning of it is with I think it's Matt Champion like on the skateboard, he wipes out. Like what's so dope about that song was like that was like the first major glimpse of like what the band was like without Amir. And I was like, because it came out with a 1999 Wildfire, and I was like, okay, let me see how this song sounds when they start rapping really hard without Amir. And then 1998 Truman really showed that, like, dang, they really kind of can still hold their weight, if not grittier. And it just didn't land on the record, which is disappointing, but that does not take away from the song. It is still a really dope song.
I still enjoy it.
Oh,
I only watched it like a couple times with the video, but I never actually.
That Jim Jones sample that you're not free with your Cadillac. I don't know that from the get is the funniest thing.
My fifth favorite song comes from No Name, Self, the intro. If you've listened to a No Name record, if you just listen to any No Name, then you know this just like fits the rest of her album, which didn't land on my top 10 list, but it was still a hella great album. You should go check it out if you didn't. But yeah,
it's really good. Now we're getting into. You already said your number 5.
Yeah, I said my fifth.
Getting into my number 5. Devotion by Tears, which is the title track off her new record, which is probably one of the best mellow. It's like a melodramatic pop record. And I think that's really dope. We'll get into that later. Devotion is probably one of the better title tracks you'll find on an album. Usually title tracks on an album, they're not that they're bad, but sometimes they don't even like represent the themes ultra well. But with this one, I can't remember the guy that's on there, but it's not like it's live performed. I think the music video she's even performing like in a little house, but it kind of explains the whole theme of devotion, but in song form. Yeah. And I think the composition of the song is really cool, and it Tears really does her thing, is like how she gets vocally up in her register, and then Mikachu, of course, with the production.
She's not your typical singer, but we'll wait for that.
She has like her own aesthetic, like her own realm, and I like it a lot.
My fourth favorite song was Ghost Town by Ye. Ghost Town by Ye just hit at a really great time. Like, I don't know, I could not stop playing that song this year. And then,
I know.
Yeah, I know, I
love it, though.
But, yeah, Ghost Town.
My number 4 is, this was a tough one because her record had a lot of songs I could have put on this spot, but this was probably my favorite one. Just a Stranger by Kali Uchis. Steve Lacy again. He's on this list again with Kali Uchis this time, and it sounds like a song that embodies like espionage of like the 1970s and 60s, and it's about a woman who the song is about a woman who wants more, doesn't really want like men or love or women or whatever. She just wants money. Like the chorus is, she only wants $100 bills. It's like the most infectious chorus, and like she just sounds like she's on a mission for just money, and whoever comes her way is just a stranger. It doesn't matter as long as they're giving her money, and it's just like a really fun song to groove to. It's kind of hard to not bother it to.
My third favorite song of the year was Cold Summers by Earl. Cold Summers by, oh man.
Dude, I fucking love that.
It sounds like it was crafted out of like Mad Lib's garage while Aqua Teen Hunger Force was playing at like 4 a.m. Like, once again, like I said about the Eclipse song, like if you're an Earl fan, this is like the music that you've been yearning for. Like, this is what like all of this has been building up to, and he did not let down in the least bit. And then his lyricism, obviously, I don't even think I need to like talk about. Like,
yeah,
but
when is it never top tier?
Exactly. Yeah.
So for my number 3, 4-Leaf Clover by Raven Lenae, and if you follow me on social media, you would know why this song hits me as much if you know the base of the song. It's a song about like unrequited love in a sense. Like, it's not that it's 100% unrequited, but the guy is kind of like, he's like, I don't know, like, there's other women out there, but I really like you a lot. Not saying if that's me or anything, but I just like the perspective of it. It's kind of like a duet, really, even though Steve just says one verse, but he does play the guitar on there, I believe. But yeah, Raven Lenae, one of the most unique voices.
That was a solid EP by her as well.
Solid EP, and she can really get in that register, and it's like really dope.
All right. And my number 2 song of the year is Baby I'm Bleeding by JPEG Mafia. Seeing this live damn near solidified it. Like, this song literally, like, grabs you and drags you into it and makes you like fucking just get hyped into it. If you can't get past the fucking annoying ass like or whatever, then you'll probably not fucking like it. But yeah, Baby I'm Bleeding was my favorite. Oh yeah. Oh, never mind. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's still a good song
yeah,
too.
Still,
That's
yeah,
on my
but,
list, yeah.
But yeah, well, if you can't get past the beat on that, because I think I want to say that he was even having trouble on that beat. Like it sounds like he was fucking trying to like fix it or some shit with these slides.
When it like, I don't know, when you hear it through headphones, it messes up your ears a little bit.
Yeah, it low-key fucks with you, but I've gotten somewhat used to it.
Yeah, it's still hard to use that song, but I love it a lot.
Yeah.
For my number 2, is an Earl Sweatshirt song. It's Azúcar, which is just Spanish for sugar. That on the album, is a huge highlight because it hits me pretty hard, and it hits. I mean, you like it a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what I interpret from that song, it's really talking about like love for his Earl's love for his mother and his parents and stuff like that, or stuff that he's always had with like adults or something like stuff like that. Because he talks on the album, he talks about his mom a lot on that song, like, or just women in general. Like, it could be an ode to his female caretakers in his life, because he get what he sound that's on Pedal to the Metal, lost footing on the gas, and my bosom was a cushion on bad days. You know, he's like, there's not a black woman I can't thank. You know, he's even talking. He talked to his mom a lot. He's like what do you say? Like the doc said, my mom said, "Go on and kill him this time," and then he even says on there like my mom said, I used to remind. Was it what did he say?
Mama says
you see my father and me. I said I was not offended. Personally,
super relatable.
Jeez, oh my lord! Now that actually kind of freed me up a little bit, because like my mom always used to say stuff like that, and my dad, who, not a bad guy, but he's in my life, but in odd frequencies and weird ways and stuff like that. So that definitely hit me, and I'm not trying to be like my dad. So sorry, Dad, if you're watching. I'm trying to be the better you, right? Of course.
God, just don't recommend them to this.
Please, yeah, I don't fucking tear that up.
And my favorite song of the year was Speak On It. When I first heard this song, like, I deadass thought someone threw me in a bathroom. Like, it's so, like, even, like, if you talk, like, while you're listening to this song, it's gonna sound like you're in the shower, like, but besides the point, this was the perfect way to wind down on an album, because it's not the last song, but it's the second to last one. And Cities of Eve, man, in the first 4 songs, you can feel this man's pain, but in the last song, well, in the last one where he really speaks, he just really spoke the truth. Like, I don't know, he just...
So many quotables on that.
Yeah, I know, yeah. These white people ain't stressing me.
Yeah, that was all 2018.
Yeah, that's all 2018.
I think my favorite bar on there was like, niggas represent big weapons and no
Oh,
one ever shot none. I don't know, when it like... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, he has like this Houston feel to I want to say he's from Memphis, I want to say.
Yeah,
but he has like this super southern feel to him. Like,
yeah.
When he speaks his wisdom.
And then for my number 1 song of the year, it's a JPEG Mafia song. Dear God, Real Nigga. And what's that song, if you've not... it's such an odd way. It's such a disorienting song.
Is that the one that I got confused with?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think why that song is disorienting is because if you hear the first song off the record, 1539 Calvert Drive, or Road, you think, oh, JPEG, oh, he's like a poppy guy. He's like he's like a modern rap guy. You know, he's a modern MC. He's like, you know, where could this go? Real Nigga's probably gonna be another one of these songs. I was not, and I had heard some of his stuff in the past before listening to Veteran, but like it wasn't as nearly as gripping as that song. Yeah. You hear the Old Dirty Bastard going down sample, and it's just like this gargling noise, and then right when it gets to the top of it, the drums come in. And JPEG off rip is just wet, like, and it's just yelling. So like you are getting hit from an instrumental that is digging into your ear, like it literally feels like someone is screaming into your ear, and then you have JPEG screaming into your ear talking about my AR built like Lita.
And it's only right to listen to that song loud.
Oh God, you can't listen. You cannot have that song anywhere that's not full blast.
Yeah.
Some of the bars on there, like literally my favorite bar of the whole thing is my AR's built like Lena Dunham. When I shoot, I don't miss. I don't even know what that song's necessarily about. I think he's like calling people out because he's like, niggas always want to get fucked till they meet 50 Cent. Like, I don't know, like he's like calling people out like being fake or something. He's like the real nigga, but he calls out like the alt-right in it. And, you know, of course he calls out liberals too. But he's like really hot to place. He doesn't hate everything, but he's not satisfied with everything.
Yeah, he's definitely not falling for it.
Especially on that song. That old Dirty Bastard sample is so it's
only
like
that nigga would find it too. You know?
Yeah, because like I mean, people listen to Old Dirty Bastard, but not like who would have ever picked that sample? They probably would have picked like Shimmy, y'all Shimmy. I don't know. But yeah, that concludes our top songs of the year.
20 songs, yep.
Yeah, what a treat that was.
And then we're about to hop into our top 10 albums of the year, and then after that, we're gonna do some artists that we're anticipating this year, 2019. So, yep.
Yeah, be prepared for it to be further. It's gonna be another ride. You're gonna have some fun. This one we're gonna do it kind of in like two parts, kind of how we did with the top 20 songs. We're gonna do songs. Albums 10 to 6, and then from 5 to 1. So with that being said, let's get into it. And for my number 10 album of the year, which is relatively new record, came out probably like beginning of December, end of November, and that is Anderson .Paak's Oxnard.
Oh yeah.
And I think with this record, he built off what he was doing with Knowledge and No Worries. And I think his songs are more focused, and the neo-soul approach that he takes with a lot of these songs are more fleshed out. His singing ability has definitely enhanced a little bit since, you know, last time we've seen him. And his bars are more top tier. And he has and his highs are a lot bigger than his lows. Sometimes on some of his albums, where he doesn't shine the most, sometimes can overshadow some of the songs. But Oxnard, the only real blemish I see on it, which isn't even a big deal, is the ending track Left to Right. I don't think it was a great closer, but besides that, it's a really great record. It's a really great pop rap record. So,
and my number 10 album of the year is On to Better Things by Aid Hakim. I really love this album because the loops and the chops are just so perfect. It's in his lo-fi raps. You can tell that he really constructed the beat for him to rap over, and sometimes his friends when he has like the features on there. But, he has this real raw lyricism that, like, only he can give to you. Like, he just kind of takes you into his world in a sense. And, I can hear that him and Earl have been working together because he actually shouted out to him. He shouted him out in, what was that? The single.
The single, yeah.
I forget what his first single that he dropped this year, but he shouted him out. He called his name. He goes by Six Press sometimes, but he recently changed it to Aid Hakim. But that was one.
Yeah. So for my number 9 is Joy as an Act of Resistance by Idols, a post-punk band from, of course, the UK. Where else could they be from? Or if they're not from the UK, they're probably from Australia. But somewhere within that realm, I think they're from the UK. And if not Australia, sorry if I get their origin wrong. But that is a highly political record, similar to Laughing Death and Meat Space by Tropical Fuckstorm. Except where I think this album is a little bit superior is that it perfects its loudness in its compositions. And how the track listing is composed compared to TFS's Laughing Death and Meat Space, because that one ends on kind of like, I don't know, a bad note, but like they last 2 songs they should have thought. But this, it features songs like Scum, which was in my top songs of the year, and like we said before, when the UK revolts, they revolt. So it's a highly political album. And they come at it in such a hard-hitting way, in ways you wouldn't think of. Like one of the songs I think is like Dave Balak. It's one of the names of he's a band member of some UK band, but it's like talking about how his blood brother's an immigrant and stuff like that, going on with a bunch of like.
The niggas know their history.
Yeah, they know their history, and it's kind of cool. Yeah, but that's my number. That's my number 9.
My number 9 was Sex and Food by Unknown Mortal Orchestra. I really love the poppy feel that you get out of them because if you listen to their last records, it's a very lo-fi, indie feel some people I can understand why you probably wouldn't be like super attracted to them because you could have seen like you've heard them before. But with this new record, I kind of think they really define themselves. They do definitely have some highs and some lows, like and some pacing issues without it. I mean, within it, but each song in its own really kind of means something to me at the end of the day. And they tried to get a little political. I think with this Doomsday, I forget where they're from, but they tried to touch on whatever is going on in their part of the world over there. But yeah, that's my number 9.
For my number 8, this record, it's a fun one. It's a festive sounding record, also very scary at the same time. So it's kind of like a haunted festival. It's Bloodwiner Honey's debut album. It's Fear and Celebration. Again, they're a Beijing-based group. They're not all from there, but that's where they're based at, or that's where they release this record. It's an experimental electronic alternative album, so it's like a weird package. The compositions are pretty long. Like it's only like 9 tracks, but it's like 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
And like one of my favorite songs of the year, "The Force Will Be Expecting You," it lands on that record. And a lot of how they use the instrumentals, like they blur the lines between like actual instruments and like synthetic ones, and then they even use their vocals as like instruments and like how they sample. You can hear like they definitely are pressing like keys on a pad, but it sounds very weird because it's like if Americans went to like Asia and try to make Asian music,
Yeah.
or like Asian inspired Southern Asian music. That's what it sounds like. Yes, I like it a lot.
And my number... Oh, wait. Am I...
No, you're good.
Okay, cool, yeah. My number 8 favorite album of the year is Paraffin by Arm & Hammer. They had a couple songs. Well, they had a song from my top 10 songs of the year. But honestly, this album, Billy Woods just showed out. Like, he just really talked his shit. And I don't know who really produces for them a lot, but the production was super abstract, like, especially for the underground type of feel and that East Coast type of feel, because you usually just get not your same sounding, but you know what to expect, sort of, out of artists like Billy Woods and Lucid sometimes. But, yeah, that's what I'm
Moving on from there, my number 7 album is one of my favorite hip-hop trios, industrial hip-hop trio, Death Grip's Year of the Snitch. And this is by far... I'm not going to go too in-depth because you have it on your list as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to just give it a little bit, and then he's going to probably tell you more about it. It is their, by far, strangest record, and I want to use strange in that context, because if you hear a Death Grips record, and from first glance, people are going to be like, oh, dude, they're not talking about anything, the instrumentals are odd, they just sound like they're just pressing buttons, but when you really sit down and study a Death Grips record, it can be some of the most forward-thinking, emotional music that you'll like ever hear, especially MC Ride.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this now, because most of y'all motherfuckers need to listen.
Yeah.
I'm tired of y'all talking shit on MC Ride. Listen. For black people,
Yeah.
MC Ride can literally be one of the most important black figures on earth. But
Easily.
y'all put him down because he's a trapped...
Because he yells.
Because he yells. He's a tortured black figure. And y'all put him down for that. And that is so hypocritical. We're supposed to build black people up, especially people that experiment out to the realm. But I don't know why his biggest critics are black people. It's sickening. But on that record, I mean, I'm
one of the top 5 MCs of our
Oh my lord. And how cryptic his lyricism is. Listen, he ain't just saying random shit.
Not at all.
It's cryptic lyricism. I want y'all to just Get his lyric sheet. I don't care what you do. I don't know if you want to have to write it down. If you have to say it in your head 5 times in a row.
Rap geniuses.
Rap genius. I don't give a fuck. Just listen to what he has to say. Gosh, I can't people going, oh, you like Death Grips and they just talk. No. God damn it, it's so annoying. I'm sorry to go on that little rant because that was.
You'll definitely hear more about Death Grips from us, but that was just a little.
Yeah, because he's gonna talk about more about Year of the Snitch. Because I'm gonna say one of the biggest highlights on Year of the Snitch. My favorite song up there is The Fear, and one thing with The Fear, which I don't think it made my top songs list because there was like a bunch of great songs. But with The Fear, one thing with that song on there that was so dope about that is it's probably one of the scariest songs that MC Rod has ever spit on. And he's also talking about how like the dangers like he has in his head, like him wanting to kill people or him wanting to injure himself, and him jumping off the deep end. Even I think the first don't jump, and he's like talking about himself, and it's like he's falling into a pit of his own pain. It's very, very moving.
My number 7 album of the year was White Bronco by Action Bronson. If you've listened to an Action Bronson tape, you kind of know what to expect out of the dude. Like, I mean, like, you know you're going to not like the whole thing, but you know that you're going to come out with some songs or some gems or something that you can, like, some bubblegum song, something that'll be good for, like, the moment. This album was solid. I don't know if he was trying to go for, like, a solid album. I don't know if he cared more or less. Whatever he did, he came out with some super solid songs. I liked who he worked with. I liked how it wasn't super feature heavy. I don't know. Maybe he just had time.
He did have a lot of time.
Yeah. I liked it.
He was super lavish on it too.
Super lavish, yeah.
Which usually, Action Bronson, if you know him, he does like to make everything. He's kind of like you know how Jay-Z makes shit sound good, makes actual feces sound good. He could, Bronson does the same thing, which he probably does in like a more effective way today. All right, and with my number 6 album of the year, I'm going to give it to Time and Place by Caro Bonito, who's they're a pop trio from the UK, and they have like a bunch of like J-pop, like UK fusion with it. I don't know, like Sarah Bonito probably comes through with like some of her grittier performances, even though it's pop. You can have a little bit of grit in there, but I can definitely tell they probably listen to some like harder rock because a lot of the cuts on there like Fly Away.
Oh yeah.
Only Acting, and even like I remember the last song on the album.
A lot farther from that poppy rock sound that they.
Yeah, which was still great too.
Which is good. Yeah.
But I enjoyed it a lot. It's a really great record, and I think everybody should go check it out.
And my number 6 album of the year is Devotion by Tirzay. Yeah. Mikachu's production just really complements Taraz's vocals, which are pretty rough, but the way that the production just pops, it all just kind of fits. They all kind of work out, so, yeah.
Yeah.
And each song feels like something new as well. Like
every song on there, which is on my list as well, but I'll go a little more depth when we go into it. And that is the first half of the top 10 albums of the year list. In the second, we're going to get into the top 5 from 5 to 1. So.
Alright, and now we're going to do our top 5 albums of the year, and my number 5 is Year of the Snitch. This album was just super weird, especially for Death Grip standards. The production was all over the place, like free jazz, a little bit of electro, here and there. Obviously, Andy, what's his face? Andy,
Flatlander.
Some production from him, which is going to be super abstract if you know him, but I love most of it. It's it had a whole bunch of different like elements, like the director from Shrek was
it was like a random ass feature on it.
Yeah, and then the Andy dude, what's his face? Andy?
Lucas Abela.
Oh, Lucas Abela. Yeah. Who actually plays instruments with fucking glass.
Yeah, so. In his mouth.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing stuff to hear. Moving on, my number 5 album of the year is another. I wouldn't say it's necessarily it's a pop record only in like name, but it's a little more than that because there's some neo soul in there too and some alternative. Kali Uchis, Isolation. It's her sophomore record. Her debut Port Vida was actually pretty good. It was decent. It was pillowy. Her vocals weren't as well developed. They were kind of soft. But with this record, what shines the most is not necessarily her songwriting. I mean, her for performance, her songwriting is what outshines everything, and the guest appearances on it. She has a lot of them on this record, from Tame Impala, from Kevin Parker, to Damon Albarn, to Bootsy Collins, to Steve Lacy
I didn't know
again.
Damon was on there.
Yeah, Damon was he produced and did In My Dreams.
Did it sound Gorillaz inspired?
I think it said it didn't say Damon. I think it said featuring Gorillaz. It did sound more like 2D on there, but Kali on this record really night and day difference from her features to a full length album. And she's only young too. She's not very old. She's about 24.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's getting a lot of that internet influence on there, especially with Steve producing one of the songs on there. But she really came through. I'm excited to see what she's going to do next. Yeah.
Super excited as well. Well, I need to listen to Isolation.
I love it. It's great.
But, my number 4 album of the year was Kids See Ghosts. And if you think about it, I don't really think this album was supposed to work. I mean, because Kid Cudi and Ye had kind of been, like, beefing. And every time you think of, like, putting two artists together, like Kid Cudi and Ye, who kind of have, like, their own thing, you're like, oh, yeah, in your head, like, it's gonna obviously work. But sometimes that's not always the case. So, but when they came together, it was fucking completely left field. Like, I kind of understand why like the rap community probably didn't embrace Kids See Ghost as much as, like, you know, a lot of the other albums this year. But I don't know. They played with a lot of samples from grunge, rock, some psychedelic in there. Kid Cudi's humming, obviously, is something that we all look forward to. And then Kanye's sharp lyricism, which kind of reminds us from him in back in the day.
Yeah, that was probably some of his, like, sharpest writing.
Yeah.
For a while.
Hell yeah. Super Mad Lib, I could feel that in there too. And it had, like, I don't know if I said this already, but it had, like, a creepy feel to it. Like, it had a very, like, dark feel.
Yeah, and really the whole Kids See Ghost, you're in, like, a haunted house.
And some of my favorite artwork.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Who's I can never remember the guy that does Kanye's art. Yeah. He really came through on that one.
He did graduate.
So,
and, oh yeah, obviously anything that pisses off Drake is gonna make me happy.
Fantastic, yeah. My number 3 album of the year is Cities of Eve, Raised by a Better View. Cities of Eve is like a really hard-hitting lo-fi hip-hop artist that usually when you hear his music, he has the beat overpower his lyrics, which you can still hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
You pay attention more to the beat. Well, with this record, it's more that it's like his
balance.
It's his most balancedly, you know, mixed, engineered record. Because you hear his voice just equally as much as you hear the beat. And on this record, he just sounds like he's overcoming some demons that he dealt with, like, in the past. Or, like, if somebody... Because remember when we first heard, like, who hurt you?
Oh, yeah. I was like, whoever did, thank you.
Yeah, someone hurt him deeply, especially, like... and it's very specific to a person, because, you know, he's, like, on the songs like Dimming, Series of Exits... Wait. Goddamn. Don't Feed Off the Energy. Literally every song on there, it sounds like he's not directing it towards a
even has a song called P.S. You're Wrong. So
exactly.
I feel like it's definitely...
Featuring some phone call voicemail stuff from Luca, another Memphis MC that he performs with quite often.
He dropped a tape called Chicken Wire. Check that out.
Check it out. It's on SoundCloud. Probably other streaming platforms as well. But yeah, Raised for Better View. Hats off to Cities. Hats off to them, yeah.
My third favorite album of the year was Veteran by JPEG Mafia. I think going to see this man live pretty much solidified him holding my top 3 albums of the year. Just because, for one, his outlandish production, he's somewhat like the new age of rap, I feel like. rapping about what you want to and not also feeling like you're super controlled. Because if you listen to him, you cannot tell what his political stance is within this album. His super harsh lyricism, kind of the way he talks about white people, honestly, I kind of like that. Love to my white people, though, trust me. And then, like, I mean, just, if you've been keeping up with the past fucking 2 years, then, and you like political shit, then you're gonna fucking love this album because he just is Trump enough to fucking...
Dude. Also, keep that in mind. Listen, there's a song called Man Purse if you want to get into, like, start his music. That's a great place to start. For my number 2, some rap songs. Literally just some rap songs by Earl Sweatshirt. This was a heavy debate if it was going to be number 1 or 2. I wish I could tie them, because in my number 1 album and this one, because if I could, I would. But if I had to pick a 2, I'd have to go to this one, just because of when it came out. If it probably came out just as early as when my number 1 came out, it could be my number 1. But as the year went on, Earl really came through with his most developed bars yet. And, you know, Earl's never really given us any low-ball performances, and he's been gone for 3 years. You can tell for 3 years straight he's been recording this record, fleshing out every idea that's probably came through his mind, if it's from depression to drug abuse to losing his father, losing his uncle, who he actually samples on here. It's a very touching record. It doesn't overstay its welcome either. It's 14 songs, 25 minutes. It's the shortest record he's ever made. Wow. Yeah, and dude,
shit, almost 10 minutes from Dora. I mean, I don't like shit.
I don't like shit. I don't go outside,
my number 2 album of the year is Raised for a Better View. I'm not going to touch too much into it, but this album, I think you just talked about it, didn't you?
Yeah.
The soulful samples, the sharp lyricism, the fun beats. I don't know. Cities of Vive is just somebody who I'm going to be looking forward to from years to come, and this is definitely somewhat of like his magnum opus as far as I'm concerned. What's It Called was really good, but it's not like, this definitely tops it.
Come to Life.
Come to Life, yeah. Come to Life is strong as hell. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's about as much as a magnum opus as you can get. I think he's really perfected what he's trying to achieve. Cities of Eve is a perfect example of if you make your own production and you rap over it, you're going to do pretty damn well. He's what Kid Cudi really, really wanted to be. Yeah. So.
And for my top album of the year, as aforementioned by AJ, because it was on his list as well, Veteran by JPEG Mafia. What I call the missing link between experimental hip-hop and traditional hip-hop, as it really blends and blurs the line between both genres and even makes you question what is top-tier hip-hop anymore, especially. It came out in January of 2018, and since then had pretty much been my top album of the year. I mean, not saying that that's not a testament to the year of 2018. 2018 is probably the best year of music of this decade. Yeah. The album was just what I thought was just like the cream of the crop. So I mean, it was really hard to not necessarily to top it, but it just kind of stayed very relevant, especially with the political climate. Yeah. Too, it was really hard to just knock it.
A very well placed album.
Very well placed album. A lot of the songs off there could have been in my top songs of the year, off rip. There's definitely some highlights. Every song's performance is different to the next. Every theme is different to the next. So every time you hear it, it's almost like Ween. Almost like Ween. Since you ever hear like a Ween album, you'll never hear the same performance from Dean and Gene Ween on each song. It's going to sound very different each song. So that it's very attractive listen. The glitch pop that's in there, the hardcore rap that he puts in there. He's very witty. It's the wittiest hip-hop record of the year. It's really funny, but very dark at the same time. He was in a really great place, JPEG, so
yeah. And probably to no surprise, if you know me pretty well, I was anticipating it very well, and you probably a whole bunch. And if you didn't hear it in like my top 5, then I mean like my 1 through 4. I mean my 4 through whatever. Anyway, if you didn't hear it through there, then you probably don't know. But anyway, some rap songs. hearing this man's growth from Earl all the way up to some rap songs, like when you go back and touch on Doris, which is a really great album, and then I Don't Like Shit, which was felt kind of rushed, but still a very great album. You didn't really know what the fuck to expect out of like some rap songs, but whatever bag Earl was into the past year, whatever, because he said that he started working on it as soon as he stopped doing I Don't Like Shit, but whatever bag Earl was in for those 3 years, I mean, he perfected it. And I mean, I wouldn't call this his magnum opus just because I feel like we have a lot more to see from Earl in the future.
Yeah.
But I'll just touch on why it's my favorite. Obviously, one of the biggest reasons why I love Earl is his wordplay and his bars, and he's done nothing but become better at that. And with that, he's trying to take away from that sad boy appeal that, I mean, to an extent, at least with his wordplay or how he comes about or his flow, he's trying to take away from that sad boy, that very, like, mumble tone. Like, he has a little bit more of, like, strength in his voice when you hear him. He sounds like he's more, like, he's living not exactly the way he wants to, but he's getting to that point. Yeah. The production was great. Obviously, it felt a little Madlib inspired, and he got mad that some people felt like it felt Mad Villainy. Yes. But I mean, that's a compliment in the long run.
That's a testament to how great it is.
Yeah, it's a classic album, I think. Also, with a lot of people pushing towards this smaller running of time for like, 15 minutes. Like, I mean, not 15 minutes, 25 minutes. It may have been 15 tracks, but it flowed very well. I mean, you can go through it a whole bunch of times and it doesn't feel like it ever gets old. But I think Some Rap Songs is going to be an album that when we go back and look, we're going to be like, damn, like Earl really gave us some great art. So,
yeah, he gave us some rap songs.
Yeah, so at the end of the day.
Yeah, you can really run it back to back. It's like a seamless ass listen. You could just play it. When we were seeing JPEG on the way back, I don't think I listened to another album that just on the right back. I just turned it back and forth, And with that being said, that concludes our top albums of the year. 2018.
At the end of 2019. Yeah. Maybe the early of 2020. Oh, no, I'm sorry, that doesn't work that way.
It could. Well, we're doing it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, All right, and so, just have some fun, just to guess and to expect. For our top anticipated artists of the next year, of this year, sorry. Artists that they've been kind of silent or they haven't put out any solo material in about a bit. Number one on the list is Kevin Parker of Tame Impala, or just Tame Impala in general. You said what did he say at Pitchfork if he didn't release any music by?
He said if he didn't release anything by this year, he'd be very disappointed if something doesn't come out in 2019. So
yeah, and last time he came out with an album was 2016's Currents, and which is their hands down their best work, his best work so far.
Doesn't say anything else about their other work, but
it does say their other work is still fantastic, but Currents is just probably one of the best psychedelic experimental electronic records of the decade. And Kevin Parker continues to just introspectively, put himself on this pedestal, and he hasn't done no wrong yet. So,
an artist that I'm looking forward to is he's kind of new. His name is Slow Tie. He's this rapper out of the UK. Some of his topic matter is somewhat like Peggy's, and he goes about it over like abstract beats or weirdo or out there beats. Pretty much, he's super political. He has a song called Rainbow, which kind of talks about like skin color, but not in like a super tacky way, which kind of got to me. He's an artist that I'm looking at. He doesn't have I think he has an EP out, and it's only like 3 or 4 songs, but I'm looking forward to a full length solo project by him, or to see him on some features or some other artists use him. So we'll see. Oh yeah, Isaiah Rashad.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to see what the fuck he's been doing. He was super silent last year.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
I hope the album's finished and just he has to, like, you know.
He wasn't on the Black Panther soundtrack.
No, he wasn't,
No, he
which
wasn't.
is fucking weird. And he wasn't at any of the lineup. Like, he wasn't in the lineup for the whole Summerfest or the championship tour that TDE was doing.
Yeah.
So it was very disappointing to, like, not really hear much from him. I've heard some snippets and stuff online, but I don't know. Fucking why can't I think of his last album?
The Sun's Tirade.
Yeah, The Sun's Tirade was like probably like the top 3 albums of 2016 when that came out. So I don't know. He needs to come up from wherever the fuck he is.
And then my second one, who's also a TD, probably the flagship of TD, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah.
And what I want to put Kendrick on here is I'm just gonna come out and say it. Since Damn and probably a little before, I'm not saying Kendrick put out bad material, but I think he's been on his like bread run. Damn was definitely, I think, was a good record. I like Damn. It wasn't nowhere near as the stature of
Yeah, it didn't grow on me as much.
Yeah, there's some good songs on there, but that album featured some of his worst writing, which ironically became some of his bigger songs. Was it Love and God?
Yeah.
And since then, he's just been on, the Black Panther soundtrack, and which wasn't terrible, but it was decent. For a movie, it was probably good, but for an album, it was all right. Yeah. And then he's been on a slew of features. I don't think there's and they vary too. From people like from Maroon 5 to like Nerd to A Tribe Called Quest, and I don't know. It's just at this point, he was on Oxnard too, which he did a great performance on Oxnard, but I don't want to hear him on another feature again. I want to hear some solo material, because even though he's been doing all these like phoned in features, don't underestimate a Kendrick Lamar album.
Yeah.
Because he did give us To Pimp Butterfly, which in my opinion, best hip hop record of probably ever.
I'm just hoping that his creativity hasn't run out, which I don't think. Like, I think either way, he's a fucking great rapper. You can never take that from him. Like, he'll never, like, you always know that he's gonna give you everything that he can in the studio. It's just whether it'll be, just like, groundbreaking, or like whether it'll be thought provoking, like To Pimp a Butterfly. We don't want to see the same stagnantness as like J. Cole, some of the things that he's fucking reached. So. Yeah. And that wraps up our year-end list. We'll see you next year with a whole new fresh list. Hopefully we get some great shit this year.
Yeah, I think we will get some good music this year.
Hopefully.
They can follow up just like 2018.
We also wanted to say we will be reviewing like people from Indiana and work that you send to us. So if you have an album that you're working on, or if you have a friend's album that you want to work on, we'll review it. We'll sit here and talk about it. We'll even bring you on the show if you want.
Yeah.
So.
DM us. We'll have our Twitters and Snapchats in the link below. And
shoot us some topics as well.
Yeah, shoot us some topics. We'll try to release a schedule when our next videos will come out, because school and stuff and work and everything. Also, if you have any albums that like you want like second opinions on or anything, or want us to touch on it, send it to us.
Definitely.
Also, like and subscribe to the video. Even if you don't watch it, just share it.
We'll talk about anything on the show.
Anything, not just music and film. Like if it's anything like because we're gonna have like some mental health episodes and some episodes. Yeah, exactly. Politics and pop culture stuff, anything like that. So we're not just a music channel or a film channel. So. Yeah.
Don't limit us.
Yeah, don't limit us. Yeah.
Alright. But yeah, just remember you got anything else?
Oh, that's about it.
Alright. Just remember to keep it between us friends, guys.
Please keep it between us friends.
Yeah, we don't really need anybody else right now. So.
Alright. Well, we'll see you. Have a good night.